This video, we're going to start off our LED sign project with making some changes in Tinkercad so that this will do what we want it to do and set you up to get started. So first of all, let's go ahead and change the name. Add your last name and the project, which is LED sign, and then your class period. I'm just going to write it first. Then down here at the bottom, we need to change this from, if it's already set up in millimeters, we want to change this to inches. So it may be set millimeters, make sure you change it to inches, and we are good to go. We'll talk about, we use the snap grid. We can change this now to be a little bit less. It'll move what we need to move it a little smaller increments, so we can do that. Okay, so the first thing we need to build is the block. And we're going to build it here, and we're going to build parts and then start putting them together. And so over here, we've got the basic shapes. This block is solid. This block we're going to use quite a bit. This one is the cutout. So I'm going to drag this on over. And I'm going to click it here on this corner. And now I can see these measurements. And this is we want to make the length here 6 inches. And that's going to shoot it off. So we'll move that back onto the screen here. Click this edge here, and then I should move that over there a bit. All right, click this corner, and then here we're going to tag this, and this we want to be 1 inch, which is good. Okay, and then we're going to shift this back to center. And then we need to right click to turn this around. Okay, click on that, and it says 1, and that's what we want. We want a 6 by 1 by 1 inch block to start our piece here. Okay, so that's done. Now we're going to make the base plate, and the base plate is 6 inches again. So we're just going to bring another cube over here. Okay, click on a corner. I need to scroll out here. We can use this button here to bring things more center. We can click here to go home. We can see that better. Okay, click this here. Still going to need to move. Okay. Move that back there and that over there. Okay. So click the corner. There we go. All right, so this is 6. Then we need it to be 1.5 inches wide. And so we'll come on over here and get this to be 1.5. Great. And now we need this to be quite thin. So we're going to click this center top square here and change this to, click that, change this to 0.11. There we have it. Okay, so now we're going to, with this, we need to get this base plate under our block. So I'm going to click on the block. Oops, click on the block here. Okay, move our screen back here so we can see this. I can click on the block, but I want to see the end here. And I'm going to raise this up. And so if I hit Control and then my up arrow, I'm just going to bring it up. And then I'm going to move this over here, which I can just use a regular arrow key and bring this so it's sliding under. Okay, and I'm going to bring this up again. So Control up. So, there we can see some space. Now that I have this highlighted and it's controlled up, I can actually just click on D and it will drop it right down on top of this. So I've got the base plate sitting right on the block sitting right on top of the base plate, and that is going to be well connected. Okay, so but they're not really centered well. Let's make sure they're centered well. So we're going to use something called align. So I'm going to highlight both of these, and I'm on this end because I want to align it this way. I want this directly dead center on this. Your align key is this button right here. So I'm going to click on the align key, click on that. And now I can click on this center button and it will make these two to be dead center with each other. Click on that. And now that it is gray, we know that these two pieces are dead center. So when I left off in the last video, we did the alignment here on the end. So that was dead center, but I forgot to do this part. So you notice that the base is not lined up with the block. And so we're gonna go back and center this too. So I'm gonna click highlight them both. I'm gonna click the align. Oh, I gotta ungroup them. So ungroup them. Now we're gonna click the align button. And now we want to center these two pieces. So we're going to click this again, this center button. So click that. And now those two are aligned end to end. And these two are also aligned. And we can double check that by looking, and we see that this is grayed out. So when it's gray, it means that that alignment is set. Okay, so now let's move to the next part. So we need to now build the hole. And to build the hole, we need to do this a similar process. So we're going to grab this cube now, this box, which is now the hidden. Okay, it's going to cut. It's going to make a hole, and you can see that over here. This is solid, and that's going to make a hole. By the red, the color doesn't matter anything. It just is the color. Okay, so let's make this. What are our dimensions for this one? Our hole. We'll do the vertical hole first. So the vertical hole, the one that goes going to go up and down, is we're going to make this, well, it's 6 inches, but we're going to make it a little longer. I found that if we make it 6.2, it will make sure that it cuts out both ends of our block, and that will be important for the project at whole. Okay, so we're 6.2. And then on this side, okay, slide that over so you can see it. There we go. Okay, its width, this is pretty narrow. It's going to be 0.12. Okay, so very pretty narrow. And then its height, which will select that one, it's pretty small. It's going to be 0.3. Oops, click it again. 0.35. Okay. And we can move this into the center. We can take a look at that. Right click, and we can take a look at that end. Perfect. All right, tall and skinny. All right, now let's make the horizontal one. Again, we're going to bring the cube over. We're going to, let's try and do the littler ones first. So we're going to narrow this down to, let's click on here, and we're going to bring this to be narrowed to 0.2, 0.2. Okay. And its width is going to be 0.08. No, its height is going to be 0.08. So we're going to click on this button right here and type that 0.08. And now you can click that corner and get this to be 6.2. Again, we're making it just a little longer. Okay. Let's just check the end. Yep. So flat, skinny. Let me double check this one. Yeah, 0.12. Okay. So we need to align these. So we're going to highlight them like this first. Click the align button, and we want to align them center this way. So that way now these two are exactly in alignment. Both ends are meeting both ends. Then if we shift this on over to the edge, we now should get, we're going to click this center button right here, this one right here, and get them to line up right on top of each other. Now in this case, we lifted this one, but in this case, we want them to actually cross over. So we get this little pocket here that has, let's see if we can zoom in here. Okay, so we get this pocket that will cut this shape out inside this. Okay, all right, I'm going to go ahead and group this Make this a little easier to manage. All right, so we've got our hole that's gonna be a place for, so this place is for the LED strip, and this spot is for um, the plastic sign that you'll be cutting out with the laser cutter. All right, now we need to get this. Let's get this back to home screen. We need to get this into the center of this block at the top. So let's take a look at how we're going to work on that one. All right, so alignment. Did we group this one? Let's see if we group this one. Okay, so we're going to hold these together. We're going to highlight them together. We're going to click the alignment here. And we want to align it not at the bottom, not in the middle, but at the top. And so we're going to click this top. And you see the outline, this yellow outline here. When I highlight it here, it shows you exactly where it's going to go, how it's going to align. So if I click that, it moved it up. And now we're going to rotate this. So we want it to align center of this structure. So let's see what happens here. So there goes, going to move into that center. And we do that, we should see that we have our, we've got our hole here in the middle. Let's see if we can get this just aligned. Whoops, we don't want to see the bottom. All right. Okay, so our hole is aligned at the top. We can see that it's a hole through here. We also can see that it extends off through the edges, which will be great. It'll make sure it cuts through both of that. We want to see what it really looks like. We're going to highlight and we're going to group it. Once we group it, now it's all one piece. Now we can actually see through that hole. We got a nice long channel. We have this part right here that's going to go all the way through the end. And that's good. Okay, now that we have a basic block set, I'm going to go ahead and stop this video, and then I'm going to start a new video about how do you add images onto the side so that yours, when it's printed, we know which one is yours and which one is someone else's. All right, back at you in just a minute. Okay, so we've got our block in base and hole established. Now we need to put something on here so that when yours is printed off, you will know which one is yours, because we'll batch print them on the one sheet on the 3D printers. So you can put your name on it, you can put initials on it, you can put an image on it. Your choices are varied, but somewhat more limited than what we're used to with the laser cutter. So on this side here, we've got our basic shapes. So you can choose any of these. The thing you need to keep in mind is that all of this has to set right here on this side of our design. It needs to be embedded in this. And so we're going to create things on the platform, on the plate here, work plane, but then we need to tip them over. And so there's a couple moves, a couple tricks you can do that with that. So we have this grouped. One basic thing would be to put your initials on here, or you can try some other things here. Now, again, if you were to pick one of these items, it has to be something that you can embed into that flat platform shape. So I'm not sure that this tennis shoe is going to do very well. It also can't extend out very far. It can't extend out past this plate, or it just won't print. And we're not going to print anything that's going to have a tough time getting printed. So there'll be some things like I will give you some hints on that of whether or not it will print or not for you. But if any of these would embed straight into it, then you can give that a go. You can try that. I'm going to just show you some designs here, like basic shapes and text. So here's text. Text is an easy one. I can bring text over. the basics, there's 3 different types of text you can try, and part of this limitation is that it's hard for 3D printers to print things other than these kind of texts, these very simple texts. So if I check that, or I can choose this one, but I think I'll just stick with this one because it's kind of cool. All right, now you don't fix it, you don't change or edit it here. It's over here. So what am I gonna do? It's like I'm gonna type in, click in here, and maybe I'll do well, Miss Marsden is pretty easy to do. Yeah. Okay. Pretty big, but that's okay. We can fix that. And it's also pretty tall, but again, that's something that we'll use to embed it in here. So I can easily click on this and just start dragging it so it's the size I want it. But notice it might be sketchy, it might be squishy. That might be part of your artistic design, whatever you want to do. That might be kind of cool. I'll have to check and see if it fits on that side. I could probably test that. Yeah, it would fit, but it's a little too big. All right, that's kind of cool. I'll keep that. Okay. So I need to turn this to on its side. I need to turn it so that it faces and I can slip it right into there. And so I'm going to go to this side. Actually, I'm going to go to this side. I find that it makes more sense to go to this side. And when I click on this and I bring my mouse up, you see how all of a sudden this changed to it's a degrees dial. I can click on this and turn it. Sometimes it's a little tricky. Or if the number is hidden and now I'm highlighted, I can just type in 90 because I want to turn this on 90 degrees. So now it faces forward. Right click again. There it is, facing forward. I'm going to lift this off the bench a little bit because I need to make sure it's up above this base here. So that's a control arrow key up. Okay. And then my arrow key without the control is just going to move it into and push it into the block. Okay. So now it's in the block, and now I can figure out just how far I want it in the block. If I want to bring it up a bit, I can hit control and arrow up. Okay. And I might want to chase and make sure that it didn't come off the block. Okay. Not bad. Not bad. Now I can put an image or something in here, a design piece in here. I can do let's see. Maybe I want to do just a heart, a star. I can bring that in. I'm gonna kind of, oops, that's weird. Okay, I want to kind of craft it from this side. So I can turn it a little bit. I can just turn it like that. I can reduce its size again. If I want to make sure that the star shape stays the same, then I want these two numbers to be the same. So I'm going to do 1 and 1. Okay. Yep. Then again, I'm going to go to the side. I can click over here, or I can just go my right click, twist this on its side, click here, and then move my mouse up so I can see that. You can sometimes, if you grab the red arrow, it will then allow you to make that turn. Okay. So how's that going to do? Whoops, it's a little too big. So I'm going to have to make this, I'm going to have to size this down. And I don't care about the width, but let's bring this down to 0.6. 6. I don't want a squishy star. You might, but I don't. Then I'm going to shift it over here a little bit. All right. And then to best see what I'm doing, I want to go to this side. Okay, I'm going to bring this up. So I can either bring it up this way, I can pull it up this way, or I can use my control arrows. Is that about where I want it? Not yet. So control arrow, and then left arrow into squish it on in, put it in place. It can stick out as much as I want it to or not. Actually, I think I'm going to turn this a little bit. Grab that red arrow. Whoop. Come on. I don't want that. Oh, I might need to adjust Q. Let's see. So it's 360 degrees, so maybe 350. Just on its side. Oh, went the other way. Okay. Like that. Move it over a little bit. Be up. Okay. I can put another one. There you have it. Now, again, the color, you want to check the depth, see if that's kind of where you want it. So you can view it on that side, view it from above. You can also use the alignment for this too. So if I wanted to click on that, shift, click on my text, click alignment. Now I can actually align it. I can do the alignment so that they're the same depth. So let's see, which one would make sense with that? I can also make them so that they're the same height. And it'll give you a preview of that if you like it or not. So you can kind of see what you're doing. I kind of like that better. And then what's this one? Is this gonna bring it out? Oh, that'll bring it deep. So if I do that, then the front of them are going to be in the same spot. But again, I had to grab only those two. If I clicked on the other things, it makes it so that it tries to align them all, and that isn't really helpful. All right, and then just to be safe, I'm going to group all these so that they are all one piece and nobody can move them. There you go. So you would then export this, okay, export, and then that export file, you're gonna then submit to Canvas, and then we will be printing them in 4 basic colors or 4 different colors. So that's about it. Happy creating.